Live right here on this Tuesday on the early line on SportsGrid. It is the week before the third major championship of this year in the golf calendar, the U.S. Open. But it's a signature event on the PGA Tour. To Jack's Place we go. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, it's the 2024 Memorial Tournament. And joining us live from Muirfield Village, Keith Stewart is here on this Tuesday on the early line on SportsGrid. Keith, thanks so much for taking the time to break down the Memorial this week at Jack's Place.
Good morning, guys. It's a fantastic Tuesday out here in Dublin, Ohio. 73 guys are on property to shoot for $20 million. What could be better? And Jack's hand is waiting a handshake from that victor on Sunday afternoon. One of the great traditions in golf. Let's go.
The Golden Bear, green side on 18 for who will be the champion. And Keith, before a major championship, a signature event, and a star-studded field this week on the PGA Tour. Scottie Scheffler, every tournament he enters, he's going to be the short favorite, plus 360 at this moment. More than half the rest of the field, where you see Rory McIlroy and Xander Schauffele just behind, tied for that second best price at 9-1. Collin Morikawa 14-1, and Viktor Hovland rounds out the top five at 18-1. What do you make of the strong field and how they will perform this week at Muirfield Village?
I mean, this is really set up to be some kind of spectacular shootout come Sunday. You have three players all in great form, under plus 1,000. And, you know, I'm always looking at the future boards myself. If you go ahead to the U.S. Open, you can get Rory at plus 1,100 and Xander at plus 1,200. So, you know, the odds makers really feel right now that Xander and Rory have a great chance to take Scottie down. And don't forget, a year ago, Scottie came in third, and he gained over 20 strokes tee to green on the field. It was unbelievable, and he lost 9 putting, and he lost by 1 stroke. So this is definitely one of those places that when you break it down, Scottie Scheffler should win again by 5, but we'll see what happens. Xander is your current reigning last major championship winner, and of course, Rory's won 2 of his last 4.
By the way, Keith, you take a look at this tournament, and it used to be the same way on the Florida Swing, where at Bay Hill, it's like Arnold Palmer is one of the all-time great icons here. He would show up to the tournament, and you expected to be there, sort of pay homage to one of those guys that, hey, you know what? They paved the way for me. Talk about how special it is for some of these guys to show up here at Jack's tournament, knowing that it's Jack Nicklaus here. He's going to be watching over it, and winning this tournament almost feels like just outside of a major.
Oh, it definitely does. And I'll say something that, you know, and I'm sure this isn't a hot take, but the fact that they have stuck this event right before the U.S. Open does a disservice to what this is. This is actually one of the most premier golf events for the season. And the way that it got stuck there, and a lot of people thought it was called the Memorial because it was played on Memorial Day weekend, but that's really not true. It's the Memorial because every year they honor some of the legends, the Hall of Famers of the game. And it's a really important tournament when it was a full field for the guys to make it here. And just to see Jack when they would finish their rounds on a Friday and hopefully make the cut. I mean, hopefully as the schedule again probably changes, well, definitely will change again in 2025, this place can find a standalone spot on the tour because it is a really, really big deal. And since the renovation in 2020 to the golf course, this place is good. I mean, par 72, almost 7,600 yards. This thing is a really firm test. You've got par 5s that are like a 3-shot test. I mean, this thing is really, really good. And you look at the champions since the renovation, Rahm, Cantley, Hovland, you've got the game's best. It's just a great spot. And to your point, Donnie, these guys, they consider it an honor and a privilege to be here.
It is a really interesting thing with how the PGA Tour schedule has laid out this year. Signature events both before and after the major championships that we have seen so far. On one hand, if you're looking for the positive view, you get the best in the world trying to play their best, entering the biggest tournaments that are majors. But again, you do want to highlight the historical tracks that we see each and every year on the PGA Tour. So, Keith, let's dive into the 2024 field as you look up and down this star-studded list. Who do you think has a good week out there in Dublin, Ohio?
Oh, I love when we get into the early leans on the early line on a Tuesday morning. I'm going to go with Morikawa finally wins the Memorial. Right, at plus 1,400 at the top of the board. I just have a tough time going with those guys in single digits because they're all in such great form. So I'm going to try to get a little value out of this thing. And if you look over his last 5 starts, you've got a 3rd, a 9th, a 16th, a 4th, and a 4th. And there's 2 major championships in there, both which he finished 3rd and 4th. let's go to Valhalla. That's another Nicklaus design, right? And a good precursor for what we're going to see this week. And of course, he finished 4th there. He's won the workday here during the COVID summer, which was another event that they held at Muirfield Village. And this guy's gaining 9 strokes over his last 5 starts. He's definitely in a good place to win here, and he fades the ball off the tee, which fits Jack. Now, the other guy I'm going for, everybody's talking about Hideki. Well, don't get thrown off by that. In the middle of the board, you've got a guy at plus 6,000 named Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim can drive it. He can thread a needle with his driver, and you're going to need that this week. I've been out on the golf course. The rough is lush, and it is dense, and we're going to get a little bit of rain tomorrow. So it's only going to get a little bit softer and a little bit harder, right, in order to hit these greens, which are small. So Siwoo Kim, his ball striking accuracy, his ability to avoid bogey, and everyone always says, Keith, Siwoo can't putt. But you know what, guys? He can putt here. He can putt it all at Jack's comp courses. Look at a guy like at TPC Sawgrass at the Players. Great comp course for here. He's one of those guys that when he gets it going here, he could certainly do some damage. And at 60-1, I just love the value and the way he's striking the ball right now.
And
it's
listen,
fantastic
it is
stuff.
Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Sorry. Got us again. Go ahead, Donnie.
Yeah, they got us, Keith. They got us. By the way, this tournament is going to be fantastic, but we have to remind ourselves, next week is the U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2. Keith, just talk about the anticipation coming up for next week's tournament here in the Open.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because you like to have this course be a preview. So watch the around the green play. That's what we're really going to be focused on next week when I'm coming to you guys live from Pinehurst, and we're talking about who has a chance there in order to win the 3rd season's major. At the end of the day, we won't see as much rough. We're going to see a much different texture of golf course. But you know what? Long iron play and the ability to handle the pressure of a signature moment will certainly be something this weekend that I'm paying attention to.
Scottie Scheffler already a short favorite at Pinehurst at plus 410. Keith Stewart, we appreciate the time. Enjoy this week at the Memorial at Jack Nicklaus. We'll talk next week for sure.